From the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania, it's the Bill and Corey Show. I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Welcome back to another episode. Yes, we've got our YouTube live chat set up, so if you have any questions, just pop them on there, and hopefully we'll get a chance to answer them. Welcome back to another edition. First question's for me. What is the difference between the 6th and 7th edition of the Matheson Gas Data Book? We got a collection here. I'll show you. This is the 6th edition, and there's the 7th edition. That was pretty easy.
This one's bigger. That's the difference.
Well, this helps. There's a few differences. The 7th edition holds more gases, has more gases in there, has 157 gases. The 6th edition only has 117 gases in there. I can't tell you any.
40 discoveries between.
Or something. Yeah, I don't know. So that's one of it. And then also is some people like to say the 6th edition is better than 7th edition. So it's really just kind of one of the differences is the way the data is displayed. 6th edition, you have a lot of tables here with this has vapor pressure, specific volume, density for hydrogen fluoride, and latent heat of vaporization. So in case you need that.
Yeah, you never know.
And then the way they present it in the 7th edition is instead of having like a chart there with numbers, they have little graphs. You can kind of follow it because depending upon the temperature and the condition. So that's kind of the difference. And you actually have a little more complete. Obviously it's thicker, so there's probably a little more stuff in there. And now we actually have an original. This is the original gas data book from 1948.
Had to blow the dust off that today.
Yeah, I think we got it all off of it. This has 14 gases.
14 gases.
They probably thought that was a lot of gases back then. I don't know. And
That's pretty thick for 14 gases.
It is pretty thick. Well, it's thicker paper.
That's true. And then the font size. You always got to count for font size.
Papyrus and stuff here.
Yeah.
And the font size. So. Yeah, I didn't even check the font size on this.
That wasn't Calibri, wasn't invented yet.
Yeah, I can't tell you the font. That'll be ask that question and we'll have Corey look into the different fonts. Now, actually, what the biggest thing is, the 6th edition is now digitized, and it's a searchable PDF.
Ooh.
And you can get that in a couple places. One, you can go to the Help Center of the online store at store.mathesongas.com and go to the Help Center on the Specialty Gas section. You can download it. You can also, if you go to the Matheson online store and you look at publications, you can click it and put it in your shopping cart. It's free download.
Okay, there you go.
And you can download it that way. So it's 2 ways to get it. It's pretty big. It's 325 megabytes.
Okay. But I mean, every bit is worth it.
Oh boy! Yeah. But it's searchable, so you can go in there, and if you're looking for isobutane, type in isobutane, and it shows you all the places they have isobutane in there. So it's a great resource to have if you don't have a hard copy, and these are out of print, so you're not going to be able to. You can buy a hard copy probably online.
Signed by Bill and Corey. No.
Yeah, we'll digitally sign.
Yeah, digitally.
That won't quite have the same thing going on. So that's what you do. So I suggest if you want to have it, it's a great resource. There's a lot of information, more information than you really want to know about gases. But that's the place. That's the place to get it. Okay. So the next question is for Corey, and I get to hold the switchover this week.
Yes. You felt bad.
Are your switchovers okay to use with dewars, gas use, liquid dewars?
Yeah, so even the question talks about it, the gas use. So a dewar is a cryogenic container of liquefied gases, such as nitrogen, argon, oxygen, or CO2. And it has a gas connection, and it also has a liquid connection.
Correct.
And this one, when we send it to you, will only have connections that will connect to the gas side of the connection. So in short, yes. Our switchovers will definitely work with dewars. Now, there's two types of dewars, of course. There's a 230 PSI max and a 350 PSI max. Our switchovers, our standard switchover switches over at 200, which is okay for the 350 psi max dewar, but the 230 psi max dewar, you get a little bit of wonky in there because it could, it's plus or minus 25 psig, which gets you pretty close to the 230. You don't want to be there. So we will bring this down to about a 170 psig max switchover pressure, and then the line regulator though can only have 125 psig max instead of the 150. Yeah. So that's the one difference. But yeah, there's no problem in connecting a dewar to our switchover.
Yeah, and the standard pressure for our standard 200 psi switchovers, your delivery pressure could be, you can select 30, 100, 150. So when you get to if you're doing a 230 psi dewar, then you can only have 125 and 30.
30.
Because you have to have some pressure differential in there.
Why couldn't you do a 100? I mean, it's close to 125.
125 is the highest we could go with that. So it's like, we'll give them that. We can do 100.
But yeah.
So that's what that is. Okay, next question. It's also for Corey. Our team is working on some life support test equipment that requires special fluids compatibility analysis. It's a mouthful. For this, we need to know every material that touches the gas flow on the valves that we are using. We're able to find the body material, but are you able to provide the materials for the following components for the LMF 4374B, that's this one, and the LMT 4374B valve, and that's
this one.
Now the first one is LMF is for long male with a female, and the F is for female outlet. And this is LMT is long male inlet. The T is for tube, so it's compression fitting on the outlet. And I'm sorry, they're looking for diaphragm material, lubricants that might come in contact with the gas, seal, O-ring, or any other parts that may come in contact with the gas. So to start off with the body, which they already said they knew was 316 stainless steel, but obviously the body gets wetted. The diaphragm as well, right here, 316 stainless steel, and it will come into contact with the gas. Lubricants, there are no lubricants that are used in the making of this valve, and the valve seat is PCTFE, more commonly known as Teflon. No, KLF. It doesn't. Yeah, it's got the extra C in it. Okay.
I can't remember the acronyms. But however, when we put together our assemblies,
if you're buying a system.
Assemblies.
Yeah, assemblies.
We need to put stainless steel threads that hold pressure with stainless steel threads that hold pressure. So there's a danger of galling the threads. So we will put a small amount of, hold on for it, great Scrabble word, polychlorotrifluoroethylene is added to the threads to facilitate the assembly. And that could get into the area where the gas goes. Not necessarily.
Well, that would be considered a wetter material.
Yeah.
So if you're doing an assembly, you have to take it into account. But we can do a no
lube assembly if that is important to you. It's because of the risk of galling. It's a little bit extra, but yes, we can do a no lube assembly for you.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, next question's for me. I have a customer who would like to split the outlet of an FM 1000. That's this kind of rotometer here, a little short direct reading tube. They want to have it run to two pieces of equipment. The flow meter is currently outfitted with a 1/4-inch hose barb. I just need to know what the outlet connection is on the flow meter without the hose barb. Okay, so that's there's different answers to that. If you really want to, these are, oh, I didn't bring my wrench, so it doesn't matter. I can show you one of these. These
can't do it.
Yeah, so they have one outlet, one inlet, one outlet, obviously. And sometimes people want to pipe them to two different things.
It'd be odd if it had two outlets and no inlet.
Yeah. So the actual thread on here is a 3/8 24. That's a straight thread. It's got an O-ring seal. So where it screws into the body, it'll seal. Now, the problem with just going with you could find stuff that's 3/8 24 thread. The problem being is it should be okay on the outlet. You have to look at kind of the depth of it, make sure it's not jammed in there. But on the inlet, You really can't use a generic fitting in there because they're typically, this one doesn't have a valve, but if you have a valve, our inlet fittings, or the valve, I'm sorry, not inlet fitting, it's the valve end fitting, the end with the valve, has a place for the orifice to seat. So if you don't have a seat for it, the valve's not going to work properly. So probably the best thing to do if they got a hose barb outlet, they want to go with a pipe thread. We've got different outlets available. We got you can get a 1/4-inch female pipe thread as a standard
And just,
connection.
just look at the other end of that. That's why it can't be a normal. Look how different. You know what I mean? Look how different that. Yeah, this is 1/4-inch. This is.
Yeah, 3/8 24. And we also sell the 1/8-inch female pipe thread. This is the hose barb they were talking about. And then this is a compression fitting without the ferrules in the nut. So those are the 4 main types of fittings that we have for the FM 1000. This is a direct read flow meter, typically done in air. And this, of course, can be found in our online store. It's store.mathesongas.com. So that's all the questions we have for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Please tune in again next week at 10 a.m. for another edition of the Bill and Corey Show.
Set your VCRs.